I'm going to spend a few seconds telling you about me and what my background is. Um, Many years. I've been in martial arts for many years. Many years ago, I started off in Taekwondo, then I went into Korean martial art called Tong Sudo, got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, got into Hapkido. I got into, I spent many months, if not years, on some of these. Some of these, it goes on and on. Hapkido, and as the years went by, I was realizing all this stuff was fun. It's fun to learn. Being a guy or a girl doesn't make any difference. Martial arts is great. It's great physical training. Some people like going down to the gym. Some people like being on a treadmill. I always had my preference of kicking bags and sparring and rolling around on the floor, grappling with rules and referees and rings and having a great old time. Tournaments, things like that. But as time went by, I started to realize that self-defense and stuff that I was learning in some of these martial arts schools, and God bless them for trying to infuse it with self-defense. But self-defense, as you use on the street, and martial arts are two different things. Okay. Then I spent time, literally a decade or more, like 15 years, going to New England, going to different parts of New England, different parts of Florida, different parts of Georgia and Mississippi, learning self-defense. Self-defense from people who that's all they ever did was self-defense. Military instructors, police instructors, and some of their stuff was like a little off the wall. Police, I'm not really sure, because a lot of times they have to call for backup when you and I can just blind somebody if we want, if it's necessary, okay? They don't want to roll around on the ground either. But as far as my background, I was realizing that you want to keep it simple. There's a lot of complicated self-defense techniques out there. And a lot of it ends up in the movies or on stunts and stuff that really looks cool, but it's not really effective in the street. When somebody's attacking you, threatening you, got a knife in your face or your back or a gun to you, there are some simple things. And you always have to keep your self-defense very simple, because when you get out under an attack from somebody, you got stress inside your brain caused from an adrenaline dump, anger, fear, all these primal instincts that are designed in us to keep us alive in case of a violent threat. Well, the only violent threats we have much anymore is the way some people drive, criminals on the street, and probably a lot of domestic violence type stuff, okay? It might not have anything to do with you whatsoever, but we don't have as many threats like an animal did, or we did when, we lived in a wooded area, when people were on, riding horses and going through the country in covered wagons. That's a whole big thing, difference, but we still have those instincts in them. And fear is one of them, and you have to learn how to overcome that. Generally by confidence in what you're doing in your training. Anger. People get angry all the time. It's quite normal. That's another protective emotion, so you don't get hurt emotionally. Get angry at people, get angry at situations, get angry at things, but you got to be able to control your anger, because it makes the brain start thinking slower and moving slower. In self-defense, you want reaction time. You want to have reaction, the gap I keep talking about. You need reaction time. You want to be able to react. And that's why all this training I'm trying to give you is, I'm not going to give you any of that martial arts training that I had. Well, some of the strikes are pretty much the same, okay? I will say that. But the training that I'm trying to get you thinking about is a mind-changing, mind-altering way of thinking, so you can stay safe, you can be prepared, and you can walk out in public. I don't care if you carry a gun or not, but you still have, you still have to be able to aim that thing without shaking and carrying on. Or just having somebody threaten you at a party because they're drunk. You don't want to beat the crap out of them, which you might want to anyway, but you need to learn how to get away from those people, and basic self-defense techniques is what this program is about. It's not complicated. You don't want it complicated, because you don't want to have too much time delay in your brain of what I need to do. this happens, what do I do? If that happens, what do I do? I got a video on the big what if monster. It can get bigger and bigger. It causes paranoia. Keeping it simple. And I've done my best to extract all the simple techniques out of all that stuff that I've learned from Hapkido, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, stand-up Jiu-Jitsu, wrist locks, joint arm bars, all that kind of stuff. It's really fun to do. The grappling on the ground and all the kicking stuff from all the the Korean style martial arts I've had. Trying to extract that to make it simple. What do you want? You want to keep it tiny. You want to keep all these little things small, so your brain will fire faster when you need it. You don't want to have big complicated things like arm bars, wrist locks, twist downs, spinning around. It gets to be too complicated, and you don't have that kind of time when you're under severe pressure. Be aware, be safe, and be prepared.